Welcome back to All Things Chatties. Thank you guys to everyone who subscribed, liked, shared. I really appreciate you guys, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, show your girl some love. Yeah guys, so I don't know if you can see, but from the title of this video, this is not, unfortunately, this is not a happy-go-lucky or life lessons video, but you know, it's one of those videos I just thought maybe I should do, just to, even if I speak to one or two people who, you know that they're not alone in the situation, and you know, because it's a very lonely place to be, you know. But anyway, on the 16th of Jan, you know, I lost my dad. Guys, I'm going to try and get through this video without crying, but again, I'm a normal human being, so I could cry. So yeah, that's the normal reaction. But anyways, on the 16th of Jan, guys, I lost my dad, and you know, this is by far the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my life. And it's one of those things where I absolutely loved my dad. If you know me, you know I loved my dad, and you know, I had so much admiration for him, and he was just, you know, he was a typical African dad, but also funny and just calm, you know, like maybe because I'm the last born in my family, so everyone tells me that I grew up after he had really calmed down, and you know, he was not as strict as he used to be and stuff. But I just remember that for me, when I was growing up, you know, my dad was one. I never used to want to go to sleep without first, you know, sleeping on my dad's lap. You know, I would literally be like, I want to sleep on my dad's shirt, and that was like a standard. First I go on my dad's lap, then I fall asleep, then I can wake up. You can put me wherever you want to put me. After that, then I'll fall asleep, then I can sleep through the night. And it was, even no matter where we were, whether we're visiting relatives, whether we're in the village, Kumusha or whatever, first protocol was to put me on my dad's lap. I fall asleep, then you can drop me off wherever I'm supposed to sleep. And I remember as well, you know, when I was still very young, I would wake up in the morning, go from my room, go to my parents' room, and I would literally go, because my dad used to sleep with no shirt on, and I used to go and like lie on his shirt. We literally used to do, you know, skin connection or whatever it is, that baby skin to skin thing, like all the time, you know. And I was like a baby, a person, like a baby that could walk, or not even a baby, I was maybe 5 or whatever, right? So for me, I feel like that's where my attachment for my dad, you know, grew, and it's just gone on and on and on until, you know, now. Anyway, so my dad, right, he was diabetic. Just a brief history. He's been diabetic, or he was diabetic from 1982. So basically, as long as I remember him, he's always been diabetic. But you know, that's one of the things, it never stopped him from, you know, achieving what he wanted to do. He started his own business, he traveled, he took all his kids to school, he built houses, he, you know, housed his family. He did so much stuff, and he was always up and about, always busy, always trying to, you know, make ends meet. He had so much time for everyone, all in between, you know, taking insulin shots twice a day, pills every day and all that. But he never let that get him down, and that's just, you know, that's just who he was. And even, you know, he never, even when we'd be like, Dad, it's time for you to retire, he just, you know, he wasn't about that life. He wanted to work, he wanted to, and you know, it was his business. He loved his business. And I remember, even because my dad got admitted in hospital on a Sunday, the 10th of Jan, and the last time I spoke to him on the phone was Friday, the 8th of Jan. And I remember, you know, because he was getting sick, and he was getting worse, you know. And I called him, and well, he called me actually, and basically, you know, he was like, yeah, but you know, there's this project that they've just called me for, and they want me to come and join this project for work, but now the sickness is getting in my way. So, you know, it's one of those things that even when we were seeing that, Dad, you're really sick, you were still thinking, oh, this is such a distraction in, you know, what I want to do for my business and stuff like that. And it really just shows me, you know, the type of person he was, and it motivates me as well to want to put something, you know, my name onto something, and something that I'll be proud of, and want to work until, you know, I don't know, until I'm tired or whatever. So yeah, that's just a brief, you know, thing about although my dad was diabetic, you know, I feel like the journey, you know, to his death was so fast and so sudden. Like, it literally, his birthday, his 70th birthday was on the 1st of Jan 2021, and you know, I remember on the 31st of Jan I called him, you know, and I was like, you know, he was so excited. He was like, I never really thought that I'm going to reach the age of 70, you know, like, I'm so happy, you know, I'm so grateful. Like, that's not an age, you know, I've almost died so many times, but you know, God has brought me here. And you know, he was so excited. So you know, yeah, so it was unexpected, well, for me at least, because after that, you know, next thing, he has his birthday on the 1st of Jan. Next thing, maybe 3-4 days later, my mom is messaging and she's like, Dad is not feeling well, he's going in and out of diabetic comas. I'm calling home, I can tell from the way he's talking that, you know, he's not feeling well. And at that point, my mom started a WhatsApp group for, you know, everyone, like all the kids and you know, herself, and including my dad actually. And basically she was like, you know, this is, you know, group for us for me to communicate what's happening with Dad and everything. And you know, even though that should have been a sign for me, you know, I guess the thing with me is I'm very different in the sense that I don't like to put negative out there until it actually is there. You know, I don't want to deal with, oh my gosh, what if Dad dies, what if he's dying, what if he's dying. I'll deal with his death when he dies. So I really try to stay positive, you know, and I really try to continue to have faith and be like, no, you know, he's going to be okay. And my dad, you know, like, he's had sicknesses before, he's been sick before, it's been really bad before. So I honestly thought this was just one of those things, and I really just tried to, you know, stay positive. But then on the 10th of Jan, like, it got so bad. Next thing, the doctor, he got admitted into hospital, and I think that's when I got really scared, because I don't know, like, I don't remember the last time my dad ever got sick to the point where they said he's been admitted in hospital, or you know, in such a state. They were talking about he needs oxygen, you know, it was just so scary. And I just, you know, but I tried. I really was like, no, you know, he's going to come out. I had so much faith, guys. Like, I used to text my dad every single day, like on his WhatsApp. I used to text him, you know, like, I believe you're gonna be fine, I know you're gonna be okay, I miss you, I love you. Yeah, I'm sending you these messages so that, you know, in faith that you're going to get out of hospital and you're going to read these messages and know that I've been praying for you and stuff like that. So I really was so positive, and I really thought, you know, he's going to pull through. And then they ran some tests and everything, they did x-rays and all that stuff, and then, you know, it came out that he had contracted somehow COVID. And you know, that literally, I remember getting that news, like, my heart sank. But at the same time, that's the first day I actually didn't cry then, but I remember I started watching like YouTube videos of like high risk people, like 80-something-year-olds and 70-something-year-olds who had survived, who had gone into hospital and come out of hospital. That's what I was concentrating on. I didn't want to concentrate on the number of deaths that they're recording, you know, daily, or, you know, concentrate on what's happening with. I literally was concentrating on the good news, you know, all the people who've come out of it and stuff. And that's where I was just declaring that, you know, that's what's going to happen with my dad. And it was just, yeah, it was a very, very difficult time. Like, I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, to be honest. And and on the day that, you know, he passed on, I remember waking up, it was a Saturday, you know, and my mom had sent a message to say, oh, the doctor has said my dad's sugar levels, you know, are doing well, and he's, you know, they're actually the best he's had in the hospital and stuff. So I was in such a great mood, guys. I was like, you know, this is the turnaround. Because the day before, on Friday, we had gotten a message as well to say he's opened his eyes. And I remember I even texted him. I was like, Dad, I heard you opened your eyes. This is the beginning of, like, you know, you recovering and stuff. And then the next day, my mom was like, his sugar levels, you know, are the best, and all the patients in the hospital. So, you know, and for me, I was like, this, you know, this is a turnaround. It's coming around, you know. And it just, yeah, sorry guys. I think what made it more difficult for me was, you know, not being home, because obviously this is all happening in Zimbabwe. I'm here in the UK, I can't travel, COVID is restricting things. I don't even know to what extent I can travel. I really wanted to be home. I was doing my best to, you know, be involved in everything. So if they said we need to call this person or that person, I was, you know, calling that person from here in the UK. If they say we need to order this, because, you know, the doctor was telling us, oh yeah, he needs home-based care after this, so sort out home-based care. So I was like on, you know, on it, trying to get him, you know, the best home-based care, because I believed he was going to be home soon, and, you know, we're going to have him back home. So yeah, anyway, like I was saying about the Saturday thing. So after, you know, hearing that good news, I was so happy. And I remember, like, I was in the bedroom, and, you know, I was in a good mood somehow. And then first my uncle called me, and he told me, oh, his daughter had just passed away. And it was so sad, you know. And I was now, you know, texting my family and calling my family to tell them that, you know, my cousin just passed away. I sent my mom a message to tell her. And after like maybe 10 minutes, my uncle called me back, and I thought he was calling to tell me, you know, some news about, you know, his daughter, or, you know, what's going on there. And then he's like, yeah, sorry Tatinda, you know, about the passing of your dad. And guys, it took me back. I didn't know what he was saying, you know, because, you know, in my head, you know, like, even from what you see on the movies or just in life, you know, it's usually like, hey, you know, are you sitting down? Where are you? And then you almost prep yourself for bad news or whatever. Like, I felt like it was just like, hey, your dad just died. And to be honest, I can't tell you what happened between then and, you know, even 2 weeks later. It just, literally my life just got shattered. My heart was broken. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. Yeah, it was, yeah, I don't know guys, it's really, it's not a nice place to be. And, you know, I really empathize with people who've lost, you know, their parents. And yeah, so like, you can't explain the pain of losing a parent to someone. At the same time, you really do not want to wish that upon anyone, you know, because it's a very hard journey. But yeah guys, that was the journey up to, you know, losing my dad. And, you know, it's been a month now. It's been exactly a month, well, 5 weeks now, you know, since losing him. And I'm now living the journey afterwards. To be honest, you know, losing a parent, like I said before, it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through, you know, to go through in my life. Maybe, you know, there's obviously, life is still happening and there's going to be tough situations, but up to this day, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. And I think it's one of those things where the people who've really surrounded me, you know, in terms of people who weren't like close or anything, you know, but people who keep checking on me and, you know, finding out am I okay and all that, are people who've also lost parents, I've realized, you know. And those are people who, you know the pain, and, you know, they really have surrounded me so much, you know. And I'm not talking about, because my friends have been amazing. My friends, my husband have been totally amazing, you know, but I'm talking about people that I never really used to communicate with or talk about and talk to and stuff like that, who've lost parents. They really, you know, like, they'll send me messages, they'll send me books to read, they'll send me prayers, you know, and stuff. And it's been really, you know, it's amazing just how people can resonate, and when they, with something like this, and when they do, you know, they really come around you and show you love and support, you know. And I think for me, the hardest part as well is just, you know, besides, you know, yes, I've been grieving the loss of my dad. I've been grieving two things. I've been grieving, you know, all the memories and everything, you know, what we had. But at the same time, I'm also grieving what could have been, you know. I mean, I've spoken about how I was supposed to have a wedding, you know, in April 2020, you know, and anyone who knows that I was so excited for my dad, you know, to walk me. That, you know, before I even met my husband, that's just something that I've always wanted, you know. First, my dad to walk me down the aisle, you know, and secondly, you know, for me and my dad to have like a father-daughter dance. I had the songs picked out long years ago, you know. I've had those songs picked out, and I knew, and I remember on my sister's wedding, when I was leaving, my dad was like, at your wedding we're going to dance even harder than I did at this wedding, you know. And I was so excited, I was so happy, you know. And you know, now, you know, just thinking that that's never going to happen, you know, he's never going to see, you know, his grandkids from me, he's never going to see the process of me, you know, buying a house, you know, all these things that I know that my dad would have been like fully so excited about, you know. And another thing that I grieve about is my mom, you know. My mom, you know, was with my dad for 42 years, guys. Like, that is such a long time, you know, to be with someone. And you know, literally her whole adult life, you know, she's been with my dad. And now, you know, so I also grieve for that, you know. Like, it actually pains me to know that my mom is in pain, you know. It's not nice to know that your parent is hurt, you know. So for me, it's like I'm grieving so many things, even including grieving the sadness, you know, for my mom, you know. So it's just a difficult time, you know. And I guess, you know, I remember when I did that video at the beginning of the year, the 10 lessons of 2020, you know, and I had no idea that a week from there I would have to be living, you know, those lessons. And I remember I said, you know, we must expect the unexpected, we mustn't take life for granted, people have lost their lives, and you know, we should count our blessings and all these things. And I didn't know that I would have to go back and watch that and think, okay, Titenda, how are you going to live this out, you know? But yeah, I'm here, guys, and I just, you know, I this is not a dealing with grief or loss video, because to be honest, it's only, you know, a month or so in, and I am still dealing. I don't know, you know, I don't know, you know, I still cry every single day, you know, and all that stuff. So to say I'm dealing, I actually don't know. But I guess this is just a video that I wanted, you know, to put out there to say, you know, yeah, that's what's going on. And if there's anyone, you know, who's lost a parent, lost a loved one, you know, lost somebody special, you know, I really empathize with you, and I know the pain. You know, this is my first big loss. I've lost uncles, cousins, etc, you know, and you know, it hurt, but this is the first big loss, you know, that I've ever experienced. So I just wanted to share with someone and comfort someone somehow. And yeah, guys, so if you've watched up to this point, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.